Hi guys, Derwin here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the importance of having a budget. We hear the word budget thrown around all the time, and many people in your life may have told you the expression, I'm good with money. What they most likely mean is that they have developed a perfect budget, which keeps their financial health in constant check. So they never need to worry about money. Today, we are breaking down the reasons why you should have a budget. Number one, a budget helps you keep your eyes on the long-term goals and keep you working towards them. Let's face it, you won't be putting a down payment on a home anytime soon if your eyes are constantly glued to the shiny objects at the Gucci store. Well, that is where budget comes in and helps you achieve your goal of one day buying your dream home. It's gonna keep you from spending your money on things you don't really need and instead on only the things you really do. So before your next impulse buy happens, do yourself a favor and have a budget. With a budget, you will always remind yourself that once you spend over a certain amount of money a month, you won't be adding to your down payment funds. Furthermore, it takes the stress out of your life. Who doesn't want to go to sleep stress-free and wake up knowing that they still have money in their bank? Everyone, right? A budget essentially will give you the stress-free life from a financial standpoint because there's no more guesswork. You are able to track everything and you're in absolute control of your financial well-being, and money is not part of your worries. Number two, it prevents you from spending money you don't have. This usually happens with credit cards. One day we love them and the next day we don't. We realize that buying that new iPhone and putting it on your credit card you cannot pay off was not such a great idea. Well, it's time to ensure it won't happen again. And yeah, maybe consider returning that phone before your credit score gets destroyed. A budget helps you avoid these precarious situations simply because you'll have more clarity on what you can afford. Let's look at an example. You make $3,000 a month after taxes, rent is $1,000, medical, dental, insurance, fitness costs you another $300, food costs you $500, phone and utilities cost you $200. You have $1,000 left. The iPhone 11 Pro costs you $999. You can afford it, right? The answer is no, you can't, because you still have to save your money so you can make your money work for you in the future. You have to follow the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your budget goes to the essentials like food and rent, 30% for discretionary spending, and 20% for savings, which equals to $600 in this case. This means you only have $400 left for discretionary spending and not $1,000. Number three, relief during emergencies. Life is full of surprises, and the worst thing to happen is to have no money during an emergency. Whether it is an emergency surgery you need to get done, or an unexpected car breaking down, or a job you just lost, you will need emergency funds to get things sorted out and ride things out. This emergency fund should be part of your budget. Have at least 3 months reserved to pay for your monthly expenses. I know this is easier said than done since 58% of Americans do not even have $1,000 in their savings account. First thing to do is to add up all your expenses and put them on a spreadsheet, which has been the easiest way for me. Some of you may say, but Derwin, you should invest your money, don't save. You need to let your money grow. Well, I disagree. You should still have at least 3 months reserves, preferably 6, before you start thinking about investing. I think people are starting to see how important it is. This money should not be touched for any reason other than an emergency. I would put this fund in a high yield savings account so it is still relatively liquid, so that if an emergency arises, you can take it out without any penalties. Number four, it lets you know your bad spending habits. Have you ever looked at your credit card statement at the end of the month and thought, damn it, did I really spend $1,400 on magic tricks this month?
Okay, the green bar is what you spend every month on stuff you need, like a car and a house. The red bar is what you spend on non-essentials, like magazines, entertainment, right, things like that. This scary black bar is what you spend on things that no one ever needs, like multiple magic sets.
Well, hopefully you don't have the same spending habits as Michael Scott, but we all have some bad spending habits that we can address. A budget gives you clarity on what you are currently spending and how much more you can spend on that category. Here's the Mint app on my phone. You can see my credit score and the made budget. So we can click on that and you'll see different categories here. And you can see that for gas and fuel, I spent $37 out of 100 that I entered there. So I still have 63, which shows you that as well. Left to spend. Alcohol, coffee, fast food, I haven't been spending on that because of the quarantine. And then groceries, you can see that I spent $306 out of 450. So very easy to follow. And finally, number 5, early retirement. Let me ask you guys a question. If someone offered you $1,000 for no particular reason, maybe because you're just super cool, would you spend it now or would you save it and put it in the stock market with a 10% average annual return for the next 32 years and let compound interest go to work? And assuming you're now 18 years old and you want to retire at 50, technically your $1,000 is going to be worth 21,132 years and you have had to do absolutely nothing. The clever ones are going to choose to save it, and when they turn 50, they might not even spend it. Let's be realistic here. It is highly likely there is someone to offer you $1,000 because you're cool, but what is realistic is to save the $1,000 and add $200 a month into the brokerage account. So when it's time to retire at the ripe age of 50, you will have more than $500,000 in your bank account. All of this just by contributing $200 a month and using compound interest. The sooner you do this, the sooner you get to retire. Recently, there is a big movement called FIRE. If you haven't heard of FIRE, it stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. This is when your passive income exceeds your expenses. This is also known as getting out of the rat race. I like to think of it as firing your boss. Put in the comments below if you guys want me to do a video on that. All right guys, those are the top 5 reasons why you should have a budget. To make it easier for you to start a budget, you can find a template budget in the description below or simply use a budgeting app like Mint. If you guys like this video, punch the like button and subscribe to my channel and punch the notification bell. You can also follow me on Instagram at NightAgent. See you next time.